and this figure thing sat next to me, and then it put its hand on my belly, and I knew instantly that it was trying to take my baby. And I know this person, so they'll come in, and then I'll have my guard on, but then all of a sudden, this person turns evil, or it morphs into something really creepy, like a demon, basically. I'm just gonna say it's a demon. It turned into a demon. And then sometimes it would choke me. I noticed it ramp up when I started being sexually active. And that, I used to battle with that. I was used to think like, why am I still experiencing these things when I'm still a Christian? Why is this still happening? So I've been wanting to do this video for a while, but I just didn't know how I was going to do it, because sometimes I just don't know how to explain things. But I guess I'm just going to tell you my experience and how this stopped. So obviously, as you can see on the title, that this is a topic about sleep paralysis, or some people might call it demonic attacks, spiritual warfare, but it is sleep paralysis. So if you don't know what sleep paralysis is let me actually Google how to explain this. Okay, so Google says sleep paralysis is a temporary loss of muscle control just after falling asleep or before waking. Sleep paralysis frequently involves hallucinations or a feeling of suffocation. No one knows exactly what causes sleep paralysis, but it's linked to sleep disorders and certain mental health conditions. So that's interesting. So that's the scientific definition. Basically, I experienced this for a very long time, for as long as I can remember. I think especially as I went into my teenage years. So maybe after 19, I noticed it ramp up when I started being sexually active. I don't know whether that's linked. Don't say that it is, but that's when I noticed it ramp up. And when I started clubbing, I noticed it even more. This is just me thinking now and actually just talking to you guys. So that's when I noticed it start. And it was quite frequent as well. I'll have it at least once or twice a week, where I would feel, just before waking, I would kind of feel like a pressure on me. As if like someone sat on me and I can't breathe and I can't move, but my eyes, it's as if my eyes are open. I can see everything in my room, but I just can't wake up. Or I'm trying to call out to the person that's next to me, or who's in the same house to come and help me, but I can't get my voice out. So it's quite a scary thing. So it's just like you're paralyzed literally and you can't speak. So just imagine that it happening every week. And I started having them quite frequently, and I ended up just becoming used to it, but it was still scary. But as the years went on, it started getting scary in the sense of I would kind of see like a figure coming in my room. Actually, let me double back, because talking about this figure, there was a figure that I saw I can remember now when I was young, like just a dark figure. I remember I was sleeping and I woke up and there was a table in my bedroom, and I saw on this table there was this figure, or just a dark black figure. It was sat on the chair on the table. I knew it was looking at me, and it had like a kind of a witch hat. So I can't remember whether I was dreaming or not, but I still remember this vividly, as if I was still there. And I remember I was so scared from a young age after this experience. Since that experience, I would never wake up if I needed to go to the toilet. I would stay in bed and I would just wet the bed. So I literally wet the bed for the longest because I was so fearful of that experience. I don't remember at that time if I was having that feeling of suffocation, but I know I remember seeing that dark figure in my bedroom. This was back in Zimbabwe. And when I was young, actually, I remember I used to hear like scary voices like at night. Like I used to have a lot of night terrors. But with the hearing of the voices, I really feel like I was awake when I heard these voices. It's not like I was asleep, but I was awake. So yeah, there was a lot of crazy, I want to say paranormal activity that used to happen when I was younger, that I used to experience. But fast forward, obviously, in my teenage years, when I remember this again, like I said, I would sometimes see a dark figure coming in my room. I would just feel this overwhelming like feeling all over my body, as if I can't explain the feeling, but it's a intense feeling. Like I can feel that the life out of me is getting sucked out. And then I just feel this pressure. And sometimes I can actually see this figure on me, like pressing me and pinning me down. So this was a regular occurrence, really regular occurrence. And this was obviously before I was walking with Christ and everything. Then fast forward to, actually, I'll tell you this one before I tell you when I gave my life to Christ. So just before I gave my life to Christ, I had got married to my husband. Then we decided to start trying for children. I fell pregnant pretty quickly, and we found out I was pregnant pretty soon. When we found out that, literally the day we found out, let's say today, then the day after I started having some pains. We told a few family members that I was pregnant, and the next day I started having some pains in my stomach. But before that, on that day we found out, I think it was the day we found out anyway, I had, like I said, this is what sleep paralysis is. It feels like you're awake because you can see your room, its entirety. You can see everything. But I remember I was sleeping on my side. So just imagine you sleeping on your side. And then while I was sleeping, I saw like a dark figure again coming into my room, and it's perched on the side of my bed, and I couldn't move. So I was trying to move. I was trying to shout to my husband because he was next to me. I was trying to, say, Tom, Tom, Tom. And obviously my voice wasn't coming out. And this figure thing sat next to me, and then it put its hand on my belly, and I knew instantly that it was trying to take my baby. And I was trying to like kick and scream and kick and scream. And I eventually managed to wake up, and I was like, like how you see in the movies when people wake up and they're like breathing really hard and deeply, like you're scared. Then I just got up and went to the toilet, came back to bed, fell asleep again, but I was so scared. Next day, I started having pains and in my stomach. I didn't really think much of it because it was my first pregnancy. I thought that's just normal. Fast forward to the afternoon, I started bleeding, and I knew that's not right. And then the pain intensified, and then what came about, it turned out to be an ectopic pregnancy. So at that time I was by myself, and I was so scared because my husband was working. Told him, but I'm going to have to do a different story on the ectopic pregnancy story. I just wanted to tell you another time when I saw this figure thing. And then fast forward to when I gave my life to Christ, I still experienced these things. So, but I was more prayerful. I was very intentional with my prayer. I would be up sometimes at night just praying and reading my word, like really like immersing myself. But I was still having these things. So I was like, what's going on? But this time it was different. It's as if I'll be dreaming, and then my bedroom door would open, but it would be someone that I know, that I'm comfortable with, that would come in the room. So I would have my guard down, as if I think, because I know this person. So they would come in, and then I'll have my guard down. But then all of a sudden, this person turns evil, or it morphs into something really creepy, like a demon, basically. I'm just going to say it's a demon. It turned into a demon. And then sometimes it would choke me. And literally, I got to the point where I would just lie there and just be like, this time I'll be shouting, Jesus, 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 Jesus. And sometimes I can't get the words out. And I'm trying to pray in tongues, and it's not helping. And I'll just lay there and just say, this is how I'm going to die. And then I managed to kind of wake up. So this happened where it started coming, these demons would start coming in as somebody I know, just to kind of let my guard down. And that, I used to battle with that. I was used to think like, why am I still experiencing these things when I'm still a Christian? Why is this still happening?